Sometimes, even in animation, your filming environment is not perfect. In this case, I had a shot of cars moving that I wanted to make use of in a chroma key kind of environment, but the problem was the shot that I grabbed was not a pure one. Given that these shots were particularly laborious to capture, I opted to fix this in post. So here's the backdrop over which these cars were going to be moving, and now I'll show you one piece of the footage for the cars. Now I'm going to lay, like I'm laying pieces of paper over this almost. I'm going to create what's called a solid color object in Sony Vegas, which is basically, it's the same as if you had a still image of a particular solid color. Then I'm going to use positioning to lay that across the area that I do not want to be seen. And actually, because of the way this shot was laid out, I had to do that with several different pieces, one of which even was moving. The coloring on these, by the way, does not matter. I'm just doing that so that it's easier for you to see what these layers looked like. The color is really irrelevant because these are not going to be visible. We're going to make use of what's called the cut compositing type. You can lay tracks of video in Sony Vegas in a stack, and you can have parents and children within that stack. What that essentially means is that children are underneath a parent, and any effects that are applied or the way in which they're stacked passes from parents to children. So I'm taking advantage of that hierarchy to lay these layers in over the top and then change them to cut away pieces of footage instead of display themselves. So once we've done that, we've got a nice, clean, cropped shot of this car motion. Then I just repeated that as needed for the other cars in the shot, applied chroma keying, and assembled everything together. And this is what the final shot ended up looking like.
About fitting into the world. Your world, that is. 'Cause it doesn't really matter anymore. No, it doesn't really matter anymore. No, it doesn't really matter anymore. None of this really matters anymore. おや、トヨタ対